David McCullough from RTE. Taoiseach, given your comments yesterday about leading the party into the election and beyond, when did you realise your position was untenable? And secondly, you said only last weekend that it would create confusion and difficulty for the party in an election campaign if there was a different person as leader and as Taoiseach. So what has changed?
Well, yesterday, obviously, as you would expect, I would confirm my leadership of the party and confirm my determination to continue to lead, and that was in the aftermath of a North-South Ministerial Council meeting in Armagh. I don't think any leader would say anything different. It was only when I went home last night and had a discussion further with my family and made a political assessment of the situation, taking everything into account, that I came up this morning and I decided to take the decision I've taken for the reasons I've given. In relation to the second matter, I do say that it is better, in my opinion, consistent with the traditions of our party and certainly in any settled, normal situation after an election, that you'd have the Taoiseach and the leader of the party being the one person in the formation of a government. We are, as you know, on a term here where we have set the election date, the 11th of March. There is important work to be done. I think it's acknowledged by all parties that this work needs to be done in the national interest. The signing of the finance bill, the passing of the finance bill and its signing as an act, and also, of course, the NAM Amendment Bill, which is an important bill that we have to undertake under the EU-IMF financial package by the first quarter of this year. Those are priorities in this context. So we will manage the situation, and I can assure you that I will direct my attention to my governmental responsibilities as Taoiseach, and the new leader of Fianna Fáil will prepare for and move forward the organisation for the campaign itself.
Taoiseach, Ursula Halligan, TV3 News.
Sorry, Ursula, sorry.
Taoiseach, which senior party figures most influenced your decision to step down today?
I have been in touch with no senior party figures in relation to this decision. Since I left the Dáil, making the reassignment of responsibilities to our ministers, obviously I discussed some issues with some ministers, but there was no question arising regarding my leadership at that time at all. Yesterday, if I may, yesterday I went to the North-South Ministerial Conference meeting in Armagh, and I returned directly home. I have not been in touch with any of my colleagues. I've been left the time and space to deal with these issues myself, but I respect others' opinions, but they haven't been communicated to me in relation to my leadership of the party. There has been loyalty to me at all times in that respect. But in relation to my own position, I make this decision on my own council.
Taoiseach, what part did your family play in your sudden change of mind?
Well, it's taking everything into account. My political assessment of the situation based on the many events that have happened this week. I've been in hotel foyers on a couple of occasions this week, making speeches and answering questions to the media. But my political assessment is that this is the right thing to do for the party. But importantly, it's about me directing my attention, as my job as Taoiseach, to what's right for the country, which is to get our finance bill and get our financial legislation passed and then call the election. And I think everyone, all parties, I mean, we have a very strong democratic tradition, as you've seen, the Dáil, etc. But at the end of the day, everyone recognises that that's the sensible thing to do for the country, and then we go and elect the government.
Taoiseach, finally, just looking back, Taoiseach, what is your greatest regret now, as you can look back over your time?
I'm not looking back with regrets.
You have no regrets?
I'm sorry, Ursula Halligan. I just want to make the point, if I may. I've made a big decision today. We're talking about the future of our country. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the past.
Taoiseach, Justin McCarthy from Today FM. I'm at the back here. Thank you. Have you discussed your decision with the Green Party before you came in today, and what has their response been to it? Have they accepted it? Secondly, what do you think people will say when you're going to stay on as Fianna Fáil leader, or stay on as Taoiseach but resign as Fianna Fáil leader? If people will say you're not good enough for Fianna Fáil, why are you good enough to lead the country?
No, okay, well, let me answer those questions. As a matter of courtesy, I rang John Gormley before this press conference some quarter of an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, and I informed him of my decision. I emphasise, of course, that this does not relate to our governmental responsibilities. My Taoiseachship and my leadership of the government is as before and will be to the end of our term. This is an internal party matter, that I am resolving by way of decision today and a very quick leadership contest which will be in the coming week. The details of that will be provided to you during the course of the afternoon when the Chief Whip has an opportunity to discuss this with the Parliamentary Party Chairman. The second point you raise, I will continue in my role as Taoiseach as I have before. I just won't be Uachtaráin Fianna Fáil in the meantime as well.
Taoiseach, good afternoon. Chris Donoghue from News Talk. Taoiseach, given that just a week ago you said it would be too confusing to have a Taoiseach and to have a leader of Fianna Fáil coming up to an election, is it not just cynical that now here you are a week later saying that that's what's going to happen? Does it not show how much you've imploded in upon yourself this week? And should you not just go to the people today? And incidentally, did John Gormley say he would support this arrangement?
Well, first of all, sorry, the cynical interpretation of events during the past week don't come from me.
But Taoiseach, a week ago you said
I'm sorry,
this
are we in
happen.
an argument or a question and answer session? Thank you. We all have to respect each other, you know. In relation to the matter you raised, I made the point last Sunday that I didn't think it was the ideal situation, but we will manage the situation, and people need to be assured of that. Clearly, it's not within our tradition that this would be the case. This is the first time this has happened for the Fianna Fáil party. But I want to assure you that the government will discharge its duties properly and appropriately, as we sought to have done right throughout our term. It doesn't in any way affect government business, and as I say, the parliamentary majority in the House will be tested, of course, by a confidence motion in private members' time put down by the Labour Party on Wednesday evening. I believe that we will win that vote, and I believe that my decision to resign as leader of the party enables us to go forward together in a united way.
Taoiseach,
yeah, I've made one big decision today, which is to step down as Uachtaráin Fianna Fáil. I will, of course, consult with my organisation and my family in that matter, but I would certainly hope to do so, yeah.
Taoiseach, we've seen dissent and division in Fianna Fáil throughout the past week. Has that been very damaging so close to a general election campaign?
Well, in fact, what people saw during the course of the week was, first of all, a very civilised public and private debate about serious political issues regarding the biggest political organisation in the land. And I think it reflected very well on the party, the way in which it was conducted. It wasn't your traditional type of contest that people. It wasn't a contest; it was a confidence motion in me. But we've moved on. You know, with the new generation of politicians who are moving on and dealing with these matters in a mature and adult way. These things relate to business; it's not personal. The second thing is, in relation to what subsequently happened, of course, I have to take responsibility. And I've done that because our internal party matters will now be under new leadership. And I do that because it's important that, despite the fact that I hold to the view I did, and I don't want to go over those issues during the course of this conference, but I just want to make clear that we need to move forward together. And it's not me, the party is much bigger than me, and there's tens of thousands of activists up and down the country. And in whatever capacity I have ever served or will ever serve, it will always be on behalf of the party, and that's what I'm doing today. I think it's the best decision for the party in these circumstances.